So, welcome to the National Baseball League. Alright, so here's board 1 of 2. So, wonder how much longer I can be doing this until I get hit with the block, the age restriction crap. Wonder how long it'll be. So we start with the Vancouver Grizzlies, but let's get this underway. We'll start with the Vancouver Grizzlies hosting the final 3-game series against the Philadelphia Liberty. Grizzlies struggled here offensively. They only get 3 runs and 6 hits. Good job by the Liberty. They just didn't. They let them get a bit, but then they took that big lead and they held on to it. And they went 8-3 over the Vancouver Grizzlies to avoid a sweep. 8 runs, 11 hits for Philadelphia. Good job by shutting down Vancouver. The way to Vegas, the Las Vegas Gamblers and the Chicago Railers. Final 3-game series there. Vegas able to win this series with it in a pretty close one here, as they win 7-6, probably in extras, over the Chicago Railers. 7 runs, 10 hits, no errors for the Gamblers. 6 runs, 8 hits, no errors for Chicago. So pretty close game. But Chicago, they struggled offensively at moments and it lost them the game. To the Northeast, the Boston Whalers hosting the final of the 3-game series against the Oakland Ocean. They're just offense off the rails. 10 runs, 10 hits for the Whalers. So for every hit, they scored. For every hit, they scored a run. And it wasn't enough. Because their defense struggled too. They gave up 12 runs, 14 hits to the Oakland Ocean. And Oakland, with that wins them the series 2-1. And that's that. So, Boston's got to work on their defense. The way to San Francisco and the Albuquerque Aliens, second of a 3-game series in San Francisco. So the Firebirds here, with in a pretty close one. They jump out late. That's a guess, an assumption. They jump out late. And they get that lead, and that wins them this game over the Aliens. Second straight win for San Francisco. They take this series against Albuquerque. Trying to look for the sweep later today. We'll see. The Albuquerque Aliens here, just 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors. But the defense struggled a bit. And the pitching staff. Sometimes they get bad games. But I want to see for the Aliens, they gotta right the ship because this is back-to-back losses. They cannot get swept, because if they get swept, then it seems like there might be a problem with Albuquerque. There might be a problem there. Then we end the New York Sailors and the Atlanta Arrows. Final 3-game series, and the New York Sailors sweep the Atlanta Arrows. Played an early game yesterday, because then the New York Knights came in. Right after which, that's the game I showed. That's how it works. It's Sailors early, Knights later. Sailors early. I always will show the 7 o'clock game. That's how it works. Like, that's a canonical thing, not in reality. Because it's a canonical thing. Like some of the fictitious part that I'm making up. The Sailors sweep the Arrows and they win 5-2. Fantastic job for the New York Sailors, sweeping the Atlanta Arrows. Then we head to the Minnesota Northern Lights and the Montreal Expos in downtown Minneapolis. The Northern Lights, similar to the San Francisco game, seems to me like a pretty close game, but in the later in the game, maybe a walk-off. They win 6-4 over the Montreal Expos. Pretty close game throughout the whole thing. 9 hits each. Team Minnesota, they make a mistake, defensively, but they find a way out and they win 6-4, and they win the series 2-1. Good job for the Northern Lights. Then we had the Cincinnati Stingers. Pretty good job offensively against the New Orleans Gators here. 2 not-so-great teams. But the Stingers jump out here, and it was, again, same thing. They get that lead late, and then they ride that wave into winning the game. They win 6-4 on 10 hits. And 11 hits for the Gators, who struggled late in the game. They're pitching-wise and stuff. Stingers win. They win the series 2-1. They won off a 6-4 win in Game 3. Then we had to St. Louis. A one-hitter. Almost. The Cosmos is so close to a no-hitter. One-hitter, great job, Houston pitching staff. Who was the starter? I'm going to find that for you. I'm going to find that for you. Who started? Garrett Crochet. He started for the Cosmos. Fantastic performance for Garrett Crochet. Fantastic. And then Cosmos win 9-0 on 13 hits. Fantastic. And they win the series with that 2-1 over the St. Louis Stars. Then we had the Toronto Huskies and the Utah Raptors. Second of a 3-game series, pretty close one, but looks like Toronto with a walk-off win here, 4-3 over the Utah Raptors, and they got a little more offense generally through the game as they had 11 hits to Utah's 8. And the Huskies beat the Raptors 4-3. We're looking for the sweep today. Then we had Columbus and Washington. So Aviators, they win the series, but they do not get the sweep as they just struggled pitching-wise in this one. As they give up that win, and they try to come back, but they just couldn't. Good job for the Monuments as they win 6-4 on 9 hits. Columbus had a little more offense overall, but they didn't bring as many runs home. At least the Aviators won the series. I really want to see them push. So then we go head to New York. The New York Knights and Tampa Bay. That's not the right game. Wrong game here. Hold on. What the fuck? Let's see what I did. So I fixed it, so the New York Knights in the Tampa Bay Titans here, game 2 of a 3-game series, pretty close game. So the Knights here, Bryce Harper, he scored every single run in this game. Well, he didn't necessarily score, but he brought in every single run. He batted it at every single run was his RBIs, if that makes sense. He hit the 2-run homer in the first. The Grand Slam in the fourth. The first Grand Slam that I've covered for the National Baseball League. First Grand Slam, and then he had a 2-homer later in the game. Yeah. I know. There was one run that he was not that came in that he was not responsible for. That's still incredible. 8 of the 9 Knights runs were his RBIs. That is just a fantastic. He had a great game. He won this game for the Knights. He won it. Tampa Bay tried to come back late. They brought the 3 runs home in the 9th inning, but then New York said enough is enough, and they won 9-6. Nice look for the sweep today. We'll see. Then we ended the final game of the 3-game series between the Portland Anchors and the San Diego Seals. I'll cover game 2 of this series. Anchors win 5-4 over the San Diego Seals. Pretty close one here, but Portland comes out on top. Once again, they lost game 1 of the series, and then Portland back-to-back wins to win it against the San Diego Seals. 5 runs, 11 hits, no errors. San Diego Seals, 4 runs, 6 hits, no errors. Portland wins the series. They lead the series 2-1. There is a game 4 that will be today. And see you for board number 2. So here's board number 2. So we got the Texas Twisters and the Detroit Motors. Final of a 3-game series here, so pretty close one, but the Texas Twisters come on top and they win 3-2 over the Detroit Motors. Pretty close one here. Detroit, maybe they have got the early jump. Texas responded back, and then late in the game, Texas takes that lead, 3 runs, 11 hits. Twisters hold on to win the game 3-2. 3 runs, 11 hits for the Twisters. Motors 2 runs, 7 hits, and Twisters win the series 2-1. So pretty good job for Texas defensively and offensively at the right time, getting that win. The Seattle Sasquatch hosting the final 3-game series against the Edmonton Eagles. Pretty much a very similar score, pretty close game through and through. But Seattle late in the game, they get that, they jump out to a lead, and then they hold on to win 5-4. Could have been a walk-off. Everyone's a little bit hits in there, but the Seattle Sasquatch Eagles struggled late in the game defensively. And they lose the game, and they get swept and lose it 5-4. So it's 4 runs and hits for the Edmonton Eagles. Good job for the Sasquatch to get the sweep. And we move to the final game for yesterday, the Orlando Sunrays and the Memphis Blues. Pretty close one here, but the Blues jump out on top to win, and they win 3-2 over the Orlando Sunrays. Pretty close one. They got that lead, and then Orlando, no response. Blues win, 3 runs and 8 hits, no errors. Orlando Sunrays, 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors. And this win gives the Blues the series lead 2-1. There will be a game 4. And that will do it. I'm Thomas Heroes. Glad to have you. And I will see you tonight. Goodbye.